And action. Wait. And action.
My favorite Bible verse is where Jacob wrestles the Persian by the river Jabbok in Genesis, because I'm fascinated by the perspective that God would appear to someone like Jacob just to wrestle, and then it turns out that when his hip is broken, he gets his blessing. Just a fascinating story. We moved here to Sunlight in August of 2016 after a long and circuitous route deciding whether we were supposed to come to Sunlight or not. That's a whole nother story sometime. I grew up in eastern Pennsylvania in the little town of Bethlehem. And when I say I'm from Bethlehem, often people say, really, you're from Bethlehem? Especially in Christian circles. And then I have to go, yes, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And they go, oh. And then there's a moment of awkward silence. Then we change the topic. I have an undergraduate degree from McGill University with majors in biology and history. And I especially liked botany for biology. And I especially enjoyed medieval history, both Western and East Asian, for my history major. And I have practiced on and off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 martial arts. Let's see, I write a lot. Poetry more than anything else. Although occasionally I write letters to the editor because somebody has to. And I'm one of those guys that does that in the local...
Do you really?
He's funny, but I don't know why he's laughing.
Do you really?
Of course I write letters. Doesn't everybody write letters to the editor?
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what that is?
No. I mean, I know what it is, but I've never known anybody to do it.
I'm waiting for Steven to say whatever, boomer. Let's see. Anyway, I like to write poetry, and a lot of that poetry ends up written as songs. I'm a songwriter in a lot of my spare time, which is probably one of my most fun activities. I have one album cut, and maybe I'm hoping in the next 10 years or so, there will be another one coming, so stay tuned. Still going to twang, huh? All right. Well, before we record, we're getting a new cajon.
Yeah.
All right. You cover me like a blanket, quilted light, fit just right. Every part of me exposed. On colder nights. Good. Precious one, present one, I'm reaching out for you. Only one, I'm holding on to you. You cover me like a blanket, just in time, day or night. You know when I'm alone and losing sight. me like a blanket, tightly seamed, giving me comfort, security. Cover me. You cover me. You cover me.
Man, I wish that didn't ring like that.
I know. We'll get a new one. So the idea for Cover Me is actually from my dear friend Mark Piedmont, who played bass with me on the album we produced a few years ago. And it was from the story of this song, comes from a time when he was working as a chaplain in a hospital. And he went in to visit this patient that he'd never met before. And the patient was lying in bed and was not mobile for the time being. And Mark, of course, asked him how he was doing. And this gentleman said that while he was in the hospital, he felt God's presence on him like a blanket. And he knew that at some point he was going to get to stand up again, to walk around, to get back to life, etc. But for now, the important thing for him was just to enjoy the presence of God covering him, keeping him warm, settling him down. So that's the core of Cover Me, is knowing that there's really good stuff coming in the future, but for the moment, ours is just to be under the blankets, taking comfort, and regaining strength, and savoring that moment with God. So that's the origins of Cover Me. Thank God for whoever that gentleman was in the hospital way back when who talked to Mark.